am the Troop C senior diver. I want to introduce you to the rest of the crew on this underwater adventure. We have Tech Sergeant Neil Case. All right. Now, next, the Big Easy, Greg Ebro. And in case you were wondering if there's some sort of height requirement for the team, we brought along Trooper Josh Cross. It's a little man. All right. So, a little bit about the history of the team on this last day of the New York State Fair. The team was founded in 1932. Now, 1932, New York State Police decided they had a need in order to recover evidence out of the water. And you will see some of the original footage up here from some of the original divers. They wore hard helmets. They had a collar that attached to. They had lead shoes, lead belt. They had heavy canvas gear. Altogether, the equipment that they used was well over 100 pounds. So when they went into the water, they went down there and they got the job done with all of that weight. Good job, guys. Now, in 1943, there was a smart fellow by the name of Jacques Cousteau. He invented the aqualung. The aqualung now commonly referred to as far as the method of scuba. Does anybody know what scuba stands for?
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Yes. Thank you to the person who just walked in. All right. Good job. Good job. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. So in 1957, the New York State Police decided to adopt that as its preferred method of diving. What that did is it took 100 pounds of gear and it condensed it down to about 45 pounds of gear. When we entered the water, we were able to get in there and easier and make it more mobile. And we were able to get the job done a little bit easier. Now, in 1958, we decided to send a group of guys down to the Navy Dive School in New Jersey and learn from the best. And we did. And we brought their techniques and their teachings back to the 8-week novice dive school of the New York State Police, where they are still currently being taught. And the New York State Police Dive School is known as one of the hardest of the special operations schools. There is a 1/3 dropout rate. Not only does it have the physical characteristics, but it is very mentally challenging. So you have to have both faculties to be able to get through this school. When I went through the school, my class started with 32. We graduated with 19. All right. We have a patch that we wear. The patch we wear is the symbol of an octopus. And I need a volunteer from the audience. Let's see here, what do we got? All right, up here, the lavender shirt. Come on down. There you go. I give you permission to cross this line. All right, now this is what? Okay, have it go. What is this? That's right, it's an octopus. Now, how many legs does this octopus have?
6.
Very good. All right, now, so the octopus has 8 legs, okay? How many teams does the New York State Police dive team have throughout the state in different troops?
8.
Very good. What's your name, hon?
Ariana.
Ariana, here you go. That is for you. Very good job. Very good. All right. Go ahead. Okay, so we have 8 teams throughout the state, and like I said before, the octopus is our, let's say, it's our patch. And so over here, underneath the tent, the blue tent over here is the PBA, and they are selling octopus, stuffed octopus. If you want to buy a stuffed dog, you can, but I say that you can buy a real dog, okay? You can't buy a real octopus, so buy a stuffed one. And the PBA supports us. We want to support them. They have shirts and other goodies over there. So enough talking. We're going to start diving. And are you guys ready to dive? All right. So the first thing, before you enter the water, you always dive with a partner, either known as a dive buddy or a safety diver. You're never going alone, because mechanical things can fail, and so you need personnel on hand to be able to help when those things happen. These guys have checked each other out, making sure that their gear is good, making sure that the air is on, and so when they're ready to enter the water, on you guys. The first thing you'll notice when they enter the water, they're not rising, they're not sinking. What they are is they're neutrally buoyant. Okay? Neutrally buoyant means they're just basically floating around the pool. Okay? Being neutrally buoyant makes it easier in order to use your fins to move around. It expends less energy. You save air. It's like being out in space. And these guys are really good at it. It takes a long time in order to learn this technique very well. Now, some of the scuba gear that we have. First, we have the mask, obviously. Covers our eyes, protects our eyes from the water. And then we have the regulator, which supplies air. The regulator is attached to the first stage, which is on top of the scuba tank, which is where the air is, which is attached to a buoyancy control device. That's how we either raise or lower ourselves in the water. And then you have fins, which propel you through the water with ease. Now, a fun fact about the mask is that when you are underwater and you have a mask on, things seem 33% larger and 25% closer. So, Josh Cross, to Sarge here, he looks like a normal-sized man underwater, doesn't he? Right, Josh? Oh, come on. But we don't have feelings here, right? Okay. All right, so, now, Sergeant, he is a big fella, and he looks like a mountain of a man inside. No, not that way. That's not what I'm talking about. All right, you know what? We're going to settle this the old-fashioned way. Underwater wrestling match. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, play fair. No, that's not fair. His mask just got ripped off. So what is he going to do? Well, Trooper Cross, being the expert scuba diver that he is, will put that mask back on his face. He will create a seal, and then he will tilt his head back just ever so slightly, and then he will lift the bottom of the mask off just a little bit from his face, and he will blow out of his nose. Now, hopefully it's air that he's blowing out of his nose and he doesn't have a sinus infection. But what you will see is you will see the water line going down on the mask, and what is happening is the air is displacing the water. It's pushing the water out of the mask so that he can create the seal again. He'll swim around and he is good to go. All right, so I told you that we have an 8-week novice dive school, but the fact is that this novice dive school, the term novice is not quite appropriate, okay? We do a lot of advanced things in this school. And one of the things that we do is a 5-atmosphere dive. Now you might ask me, what is a 5-atmosphere dive? You might ask that. You might ask me all together. Okay, I know it's the last day, okay, but come on. All right, here we go. A 5-atmosphere dive. This is 60 feet here at the top of this tower. If you add another 60 feet to that, and then another 12 feet, that's a 5-atmosphere dive. 132 feet altogether under the water. When you look up, you do not see the top of the water. All you see is just water, okay? And you see darkness around you. You might see your friend next to you. You might see some other gear next to you, or some rocks or trees or something like that. Yes, Sarge? Yeah. Right, that tower, 60 feet, 120, 12, 132. Yes, we do dive down that deep. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we dive down that deep to make sure that we don't panic when we're in an environment where you really can't see the top of anything, right? Because like I said, this is a very mentally challenging field that we are in. So, what if something bad happens when you're down at 132 feet? We're going to have Trooper Cross simulate running out of air. So what he is doing is he is creating noise. Noise travels through water better than air. And he is then signaling to his dive buddy who is down there with him that I am out of air. His dive buddy comes over, in this case it's Sergeant Case. Sergeant Case takes the regulator out of his mouth and then he puts it in the mouth of Trooper Cross. He always maintains control of his own air. And the reason that he is maintaining control of the air is because if you are over 100 feet under the water and you run out of air, chances are you're going to be a little nervous. Okay? So we want the person who is not so nervous to have control of that air. Then they're going to signal, okay, let's go up, and they will go all the way up 132 feet, taking their time in order to get to the top, but they will go up that way. Now, let's say something else happens down in depth, 80 feet, 60 feet, doesn't matter. But you're in a river, you have current, okay? You really can't see very well. There are a lot of things that are in these rivers. There's trees, tree limbs, a lot of construction equipment around some towns where there might be some sort of concrete with rebar sticking out of it, okay? And so, what that is the current bringing you down. You could get caught in this, okay? So when you get caught in this, what are you going to do? You're not going to panic. You're going to do what the sergeant's doing right here. You're going to take your gear off. You're going to check it over. You're going to make sure that everything is working all right. And then you can decide with your safety buddy there, either he's going to put the gear back on, or he will come over, the buddy will, and they will buddy breathe to the top. Either way, what they're going to do is they're going to basically cancel the dive at that point. You're going to go up, they're going to regroup, and then they're going to gather their items and themselves, and they're going to get ready to go back to work, and then they're going to go back down into the water. Now, what's another reason that they might take their gear off? Another reason that they might take their gear off is to fit into small places. Approximately a year ago, in Thailand, you had a coach and you had their soccer team. Now, they went for a team building exercise, they went for some sort of hike, and when they went on this hike, they went into a cave. It started raining really hard, okay? The waters came up, flooded the exit of the cave, and so they went back further into the cave in order to escape the rising waters. Well, public safety divers from around the world, they came, and they decided that the best way to get to these kids was to take their gear off first, have it go in front of them, and they fit through all of these tight places, these cracks, these crevices, with their gear out in front of them first, in pitch dark working conditions, okay? And this is how they did it, how Trooper Cross is doing it right now. And the miraculous thing is that all of those kids and the coach, they were saved. Now we do know that one of the divers, they lost his life doing this, okay? But he did not lose his life for no purpose. He lost his life trying to save others, and he did. He did. So let's give Trooper Cross a hand. All right. Now, when I grew up, I used to, on Saturday mornings, watch Johnny Quest. And it was a pretty cool cartoon. They would find themselves underwater every once in a while. And just like sort of in James Bond type films, they would have these underwater scooters that I thought, you know, was pretty cool. And we have right here a DPV, a Diver Propulsion Vehicle. And you will see Trooper Cross. He will turn this vehicle on, and he can sort of do corkscrews. He can move around this tank no problem. It's effortless. He just puts it out in front of him, and he follows it around. And there he goes. And I bet you, Trooper Cross, you can fit through that tunnel. Yes, that tunnel right there. I know it's small, but you know what? You can do it. I know you can. Let's see. All right, here he goes. He's fitting through the tunnel. Let's give Trooper Cross a hand. Good job, Trooper Cross. It looks like a lot of fun he's having. Yes, Sarge?
It does look like a lot of fun.
I know.
I think I want to go through the tunnel.
You guys think the sergeant can fit through that tunnel? I think he's just the right size, Sarge. I think you are just the right size to do this. I know you are.
You got an idea.
Okay. You are full of good ideas. That's right. That's right. Okay, so we're going to have the Sarge enter the water here. They're going to pass off the DPV, and we're going to see if the Sarge can go ahead and fit through that tunnel. Let's see. I'm looking as he is going past that tunnel, and I'm just thinking no. I don't think so, but we'll find out. Here he goes. No, it's not happening, Sarge. It's not happening. Now, I know. It's the tunnel's fault. Yeah, okay. One more idea? Okay, all right, here. Like I said, you got good ideas. Here we go. Let's see what he does. Okay, all right. Good job, Sarge. We're all impressed by that. All right. So what is the real reason that we might use this DPV? The real reason is in case we had a search site that was just a little bit offshore, okay? But it's not really conducive to have a boat take you there. So you would use this DPV in order to get to that site. It would save energy, it would save air, so that way when you got to the site you would have more of both to complete the work that you're supposed to do. Now speaking of search sites, the water that we're in when we're searching, it doesn't look anything like this. Okay, the water that we're in when we're searching, I don't know if you can see it through the sun or not, or those who are in the shade, but it looks more like this. Okay, it looks like mud. And we're in rivers, we're in cow ponds, we're in cesspools, we're in a lot of dirty water. Hudson, Susquehanna, whatever. So, the proven method of searching in these types of areas when you cannot see is a line method. And this line, which is usually about 100 to 150 feet long, has two heavy weights on either side. They're called jack stakes. And they keep in place the line as the diver goes from one end of the line to the other end of the line, holding onto the rope. And with his other hand, he is basically skimming this bottom surface, seeing if they can feel anything. It's all by touch. So he is doing that right now. Yes, Archie? He did, yes. You got another idea? What's that? Yes, yes it does. No, it's not fair that he's diving in the clean pool. You're right. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna have him do that in the blacked out mask? Well, all right. It's not fair, so we're gonna have. But I'll tell you what. Trooper Cross really loves bananas. He goes bananas for bananas. All right. Okay. See the mask? See the mask? Now, you do the rest of that search for the mask, and if you find the evidence, this banana, it's yours. Oh yeah, I love you too, buddy. We're good. We're good. All right. So the fact is that we would do this in novice dive school. We would put a mask on that's taped off, so that's blacked out. We wouldn't be able to see anything. And in the pool, we would put in there as well some chairs, some tables, some bleachers, some desks, things like that, in order to get in the way. So that we would get used to working in an environment where you cannot see anything, but you need to conduct a search. And you would have to move around these things and still do the work that is necessary. And this prepared us for the real life environment that we would go out into in the rivers, the lakes, the ponds, the Hudson, things like that. And I think that Trooper Cross, he found his evidence. Give him a hand. Good job. And I will give him a banana. Because he deserves it. It's a good reward. Now, I told you before that we had an 8-week novice dive school. And on top of that, we also have about 7 weeks of more training. And the 7 weeks of more training is a little bit more advanced. Let me turn that down just a bit. More advanced training is we have gone back to a little bit of helmet training. The reason we did that is because of penetration dives, overhanging dives, things where your noggin needs to be protected. Okay? And then we also have an overhead ice environment. We do ice diving. We do airboat operations. We do regular boat operations. We do marine patrol. These are all the things that the underwater recovery team member has to do, and they have to qualify for in order to be a part of the New York State Police diving. So, in this simulation, we have a heavy piece of evidence coming down. The four-wheeler. We had a bad guy, just stole the four-wheeler, and he's thinking the BCI is hot on his tail, needs to get rid of it. What's he going to do? He's going to dump it in the river. No evidence, no case, no case. He's scot-free. But the BCI, they know the right thing to do. They know to call the underwater recovery team. And so they call the underwater recovery team. And we decided, you know what? This is a heavy piece of four-wheeler here. This is a heavy four-wheeler, so we're going to use our hard helmet in order to get this up out of the water. And so we have our diver ready. Let's see if we can talk with him a little bit. Surface to diver, are you all set to dive? Surface to diver, when you're ready to enter the water, on you. Okay, here goes the diver. This is the surface air supply system, and what this does is it allows us to have communications with the diver, and it allows us to supply a constant steady stream of air to the diver so that he is comfortable when he goes down. He found the four-wheeler, folks. Give him a hand. All right, good job. Now, your job's not done yet, though. You're not done, okay? You need to raise that four-wheeler one more time. All right? That's right. You think you can do it this time? Okay, all right. How are you going to do that? Okay, he's got a lift bag. He is a smart diver. A lot of divers would probably try and use their own strength man, but not this guy. He's on top of this. So he is going to put this lift bag on that rope right there that he skillfully put on the four-wheeler. And he's going to put air into that lift bag. And what you're going to see is that the heavy object, in this case the four-wheeler, is going to raise to the surface. Now you don't want to put too much air in one time, because if you do, it'll go up too fast. The bag will reach the top, it might lead out some air. The heavy object comes down, and where's the diver? He's right there. And he did a good job here. Let's give him a hand. Good job, Trooper Eagle. Okay, and I am going to let my sergeant here talk just for a minute.
So I just want to take a minute to thank you for all coming out here today. As you can tell, we have a pretty good time here at the fair. But what these guys do on a regular basis, they put their lives on the line every single time they go underwater. So if you could all please join me in thanking them for their service every day. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you. So, Trooper Ebro in here is also known as one of the biggest posers that we have. And so if you want to come over and pose in front of the tank with him and take a picture, feel free. If you have any questions for us, feel free to come on over and ask. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day at the great New York State Fair.